Hey, what's up, y'all? We are back with some more fighter features here ahead of Aries 6, joined by my man Jeff Hobbs. And tonight, Jeff, we've got Will Banks getting
Yo,
on the
yo, what's
line
up?
with us. What's up, Will? We got Will
What's
Money
going
Banks.
on,
He's going to
boys?
be in the co-main event for next week's Aries 6 show in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Jeff, excited to talk to Will Banks as he gets ready to throw down with Pat Crump.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
excited to get to know Will Banks, man. I'm not going to get on here and act like I do. I don't know
No, I don't want no fake stuff.
a lot about Will. So but what I will be honest about is my excitement to get to know Will Banks, because I have heard a lot about you through Tim during this whole matchmaking and card
Yeah,
build
man.
up. And again, Tim and I were talking today that while we have a really good main event with Trevor Peak, who you'll see tonight in another interview, it's like I
Yeah,
think people are sleeping on. We both said today, especially Tim, because he knows you and I know Pat. I think a lot of people are sleeping on how good this co-main event is going to be and has the potential of being. Man, so
yeah,
sounds to me
man.
like you guys might steal the show.
Hey, we're gonna show up, and I'm gonna steal the show, like you just said, man. I mean, people gonna sleep on me, but I'm just gonna wake them up, man. I'm gonna show you. Anytime Will Banks is on the card, it's gonna be must see TV. Believe that, man.
Well, I'm excited for it because we've spoken over the years a couple times, tried to get some things together, and
Yeah,
hadn't been able
yeah,
to get things to line up. And that was back when you were an amateur. So now you're pro.
yeah.
You a highly decorated amateur NFC champion down there.
Yes,
Really,
sir.
really
Yes,
nice
sir.
resume. Now that you're a pro, what's been going on, man? You've had a pretty recent turnaround. It looks like I'm looking at your record. You just had a fight last month.
Yeah, man. I had a few slip ups, man. But honestly, I'm not taking anything away from my opponents. But really, it's more anxiety set. I would step in on a few of those losses. But I took a lot from those. A lot of people they'll make excuses for why they lost. Like the opponent didn't do this or I slacked here. But honestly, man, whenever my head is okay, it's must see TV all the time, man. So I had a few opponents back out since in amateurs and pros. I probably had maybe I don't know 8 guys back out. A few like 4 of those guys were with Combat Night. The original guys would step up, then they step out, and then even the replacement dudes would back out. So I've had some trouble lining them up, but usually if I can get the guy to show up, it's going to be a good show. Anytime I'm in any cage, it doesn't matter where it's at.
Coming off of a win just about a month ago at NFC 143, a
Yeah.
guillotine choke over David
Yes, sir.
Torzano. And looking at your record, man, you've gotten all of your finishes have come by submission.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a little time, man. A lot of guys that come in there, they like to come forward, and I like to come forward too. But sometimes, man, they make these little mistakes. It doesn't take long for me to catch a neck, catch an arm, and it might be the same time when I come up there in Chattanooga, man.
So you're training down in Valdosta, Georgia. Tell us about that. What camp you're representing? Who's been getting you ready to go to war?
Well, my coach up there is Cameron Naval, so I also train with Blackwater Jiu Jitsu with Wesley and Waycross. But I had to make some changes as far as with my camp. Um, Waycross it isn't the hub of Jiu Jitsu and MMA, so
Right.
I refused to be the big fish in a small pond. So I had to seek out other gyms to really get that push that I needed. I was missing a few things, especially like on the fence. I wasn't getting much pushing on the fence. I didn't get much wrestling off the fence, and there wasn't a lot of wrestlers in Waycross. So I made that change to get the looks that I really needed. A lot of guys they're really good in these small towns, these smaller gyms, but then whenever they go somewhere else, they're getting stamped. I mean, you got such an explosion of MMA with UFC. I mean, you got a lot of people just getting black belts, I think, way too fast. But when they go into bigger cities and these bigger gyms like Atlanta or Hard Knocks, they're getting tapped out
It
by
doesn't
the
stack up.
purples and brown belts. So I mean, I want to advance and keep going in my career. And whenever I get my black belt, I don't want any sooner than it's deserved because I know whenever I do get, I want people to be like, yeah, it's been time. So that's why I had to make a change, man. I drive an hour to get these looks with Cameron. It's a stacked gym over there. We got 45, 35, 170s out there. They're all making big things. My boy, he just won a title with Flex up in New York. CJ, shout out to CJ. So he's a really good boxer, and he's up and coming too, man. So we're gonna keep it going.
you started. It looks like 2017 was your first fight, so
Yeah,
around about 5 years ago. A little later, getting into the game than some
yeah,
of your people that you see now that are starting at
yeah.
17, 18 years old. What's your athletic background like? What kind of is there something that you did before that kind of give you a little foundation?
No, honestly, man, it's kind of funny. All I did was really just lift weights. That was just my thing. I really didn't have any interest in MMA. And then a buddy of mine, Charles Watkins, he was always like, him and I lift weights together. And he's like, man, come try it with me. Come try it with me. I was like, dude, I don't want to do that, man. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to I don't want to get off work and go sweat with guys, man. I don't want to do that. That was just me naive, not knowing like what it really was. And I promised, man, when I went in there, I got on the mat. I got choked. Some dude almost took my arm home with him, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm coming back. This is where it's at." So I started a little later. Like I didn't start till I was 30, but I don't have a lot of miles on my body. I would say as some of those guys that are starting at 18, 19, they start young, they're fresh and everything, but then by the time they get 25 or 30 or 24, 26, maybe they might have torn an ACL, they might have torn a meniscus. Then they got to sit out for a little ways. I really haven't had any bad injuries. I had one really like flash. I wouldn't say a knockout, but he hit me good, and I had like this flash, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're going to the ground." And I shot in. I took him down because I didn't want any more of those problems. I won that fight, but yeah, I don't have the miles and like the wear and tear on me like some people have that started younger.
Jeff, I'll tag out to you. What you got for Will?
Well, he actually just kind of touched on some of the things I was going to say. Again, great point. I was going to say the same thing. You got your young phenoms out there that started at 18, and I know a couple myself that already by 20 years old have had shoulder injuries, torn late,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and so are your quote unquote lifelong martial artists who've been doing this even as a youth, and then by the time
Yeah.
they're in their 20s, like they're having to take long layoffs, just to rest. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. With the maybe a little longer in the tooth, but
Yeah.
no wear and tear on the body. But again, looking at your record, man, COVID did you no favors whatsoever because you turned pro in November
Yeah.
of 19. You turned
Yeah.
right around, and then I see canceled bout, canceled bout, canceled bout, and
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
they're all right there. I don't know what Joseph Yeshua did, but he dropped out on you twice.
Exactly. Listen, dude. His name has come across my radar a few times, and then I have this other offer
You
for the
don't
guy.
use
He
his
wants to
fucking
fight.
name no more, do you?
No, hell no. I'll fight him in the streets. That'd be about it, man. I'm not cutting weight for his ass. But there's another guy. He backed out on me. He wants to fight next month at 145, and I've made the 145 cut, and I can. But I promise, man, if he backs out again, and if I take that fight and I cut all this weight to go 145, it's gonna be on site if he backs out. I know the gym. I frequent the gym that he trains at, so I feel bad for him if he backs out again because at that time we're going to be in the gym. It's not going to be any weight cut. It's not going to be any reps. It's just going to be like somebody saying, all right, Will, that's enough. Let him go. So,
Well, like I said, the age part aside, but you have to think about the age a little bit. Do you find yourself
yeah.
now again with all these canceled fights and the time that was just naturally taken off with COVID and then people cancel on you, that a sense of urgency right now, though, it's like I got to fight as much as I can, as much as possible, as long as my body holds up. Are you trying to? Do you feel like you're having to make up for some lost time now?
Yes and no, because I'm not. I'm chasing this dream. I do want to make it to where I need to be, but at the same time, I'm being real about the situation. Like you said, like with the age, I don't have any I don't have any nagging injuries. I'm still running 7-minute miles. Like I feel great as far as physically. The cancel bouts, it really sucks because when guys pull out, it's like if you have a big project to do, right? And you're working towards this project, you're excited about this project, you're putting everything into it. And then when a deadline comes, your boss is like, nah, never mind. We're not going to go with that. We're going to go a different route. So it's really frustrating. But you can even look at that, one or two different ways. You can be like, all right, I'm done with it. And I've been there. I'm like, man, maybe why am I really doing this? Is this a sign? Or I can be like, all right, I'm just going to look at this as a detour. Maybe this isn't the right opponent for me. Maybe there's something else lining up behind another door that I haven't opened yet. And I go from there. So I'm just keep going. Like I said, I mean, I already have a career. I have a good life. So this isn't just make or break for me. I'm out here having fun. And whenever it's time, it'll be time, man.
Well, and the thing is too now, I mean, again, there's no secrets in this game. You're over 35 years old, so you had to get that damn neuro. So you know what? In the state of Tennessee, for the next 2 years, that neuro is good with your license.
Hey,
So
listen,
get,
let's line them up. Let's line
get
them up.
all the use you can out of that
Yeah.
damn test, Will.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I couldn't believe I had to do that shit. But hey, it's all good. I'm gonna get what I need to do. And it was crunch time, man. So that just shows you, man. I really want it. So I had to do all these tests and everything, but I got it done.
Well,
Hey,
all
you're
the
right, man.
jokes
A
aside,
lot of guys would certainly have. I've had more than one. And when we hit that point, just be that's I can't do it. I'm out. You know what I mean? Props to you. You found a way, and I certainly appreciate that. That's for sure. Because we've had a
What's
couple
the
of
sound?
drops this week where they. Oh, did you lose me, Jeff?
I can hear you, Tim.
Oh, I'm not sure. You can't hear me, Will. Now,
Man.
can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you, but he has lost his sound.
Hmm, not sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
hear
hear you.
you. Mm-hmm.
Man.
You just can't hear us, huh?
I can't hear you guys though, if you can hear me.
Man.
Yeah, we hear you. We can hear you.
I'm going to shoot him a quick little message
Okay.
just so he knows. But Tim, go ahead and keep talking about the fight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
coming up.
This to me is one of those fights where it
Can't hear
is.
nothing.
This to me is one of those very similar stylistic matchups. Actually, Pat likes to grapple. Obviously, Will likes to grapple. Both of these guys are kind of grinders almost. So it's interesting to see how this will play out. I don't know if we still got if we still don't have any sound there for Will.
No, he still does it. Hey, man, we're gonna do what Will does, and we're gonna make this shit work. So
Maybe have
Will,
him just log out and come back
yeah,
in.
Can't hear.
we're gonna. I don't know if he's even seeing the messages. I don't think he's seeing the messages, Tim.
Okay, let me see if he
Yeah,
can.
yeah, we're gonna have to.
Man, that was really good, dude.
All right. I'm back.
Oh,
Damn,
can you
man.
hear us now? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Uh,
Okay, nice. We were like, man, we were really rolling too.
I know.
So
It's
we
all
didn't
good.
want to
It's all
lose it.
good.
That's good.
yeah.
Okay, going back to it. So we're more or less we're talking about the fight itself, and before I get even into that, with so many fights that you've had canceled, that's one thing that I will toot our own horn about is we are all about continuity up here. So we're running every month, and we want to kind of build these divisions up. I've already had a talk with you. The winner of this fight, in my opinion, becomes a title worthy next time out. We haven't had a 155 pro champ yet, and so I think that this fight would certainly be suitable to put somebody in it next. Let's talk about this fight with Pat Crumpton. I was just saying before we had your sound back. I think this is a very similar stylistic clash. You guys are
Yeah.
very similar in the way that you
Yeah.
fight. You both are kind of tricky with the subs. Both can be a little grindy, if you will. It'll be interesting to me to see how those styles play against each other, and we end up having like a stand up battle even.
Yeah. I think it'll be exciting. I mean, I seen his last fight, which really surprised me because he fought the dude and he was like, I think that dude was 1-7. And to me, for a guy with a record like that, there shouldn't have been as many exchanges. For him to be as good as he is as far as on the ground or wrestling on the fence, he should have got him out of there a lot sooner. I mean, the guy I just fought, he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's their kickboxing coach. And I got him out of there in less than a minute. So, I mean, all he's got to do is make one mistake, and that's it, man. I'm going home early. I don't get paid for overtime. So at the end of the day, if he puts me on the fence, I'm gonna reverse him. If he wants to stand and bank, we can do that too. I'm just gonna come forward, hands up, chin down, and we'll see where it goes. I'm ready for anything.
I love the attitude, man, and like I said, winner this into the title picture, which I think both you guys would be great representatives of the promotion there with that strap. You
Yes.
mentioned wanting to stay busy, obviously this year. Is there any kind of short-term goals here in 2022 that you're kind of looking to accomplish? That you make X amount of fights, X amount of wins to get to a certain level. Is there anything short term here that you're trying to check off that list this year?
I mean, you guys seen my record as far as all these guys that keep canceling. So if I can just get some consistent runs in here, I'm down at whatever promotion is going to be. I mean, there's guys keep bouncing out and bouncing out. So if I can stay busy and keep it going, I mean, I had a really good amateur career, and then I had some chinks in the armor that I fixed. So I need to step that up. I don't want to be 4-2 and 4-4, 5-5. No, I want to keep it going. I want those to be my last loss, and I can ride off in the sunset and just keep it going. Just build this record, and wherever we go, I'm ready to go.
You mentioned in the couple losses you had that a lot of it was anxiety driven, or maybe more maybe more appear than from a skill perspective.
Yeah.
What have you done to kind of iron out those kinks?
Well, I met with a sports psychologist. There's a lot of meditations that I started doing, just keeping the right people around me. Honestly, my pro debut, that was with Reggie Mack. Shout out to Reggie Mack. He was a stud, man. He had really great wrestling. He was 9-5. It might have been a little bit 9-5 as an amateur. I think he had 2 pro fights. It might have been a little more than I bit off more than I could chew with that one. But what I took from that is so to get into that fight, we had some good exchanges as far as on stand up, but he managed to keep pressing me against the fence and shoot in, take me down. Scramble up, shoot in, take me down. So, like I said, in my gym, we wasn't doing a lot of fence work, so that was my part for not working on some of those strengths that I needed. But there was a time whenever I was on the fence and he was throwing everything, straights, hooks, kicks, straights, hooks, kicks. And I remember like that moment, I was starting to go down. I had my hand on the mat and I was like, no, this cannot be it. I'm not going out right now. And then like I stood up and then the bell rang. But from that moment, I realized like I'm willing to go out on my shield at any fight. Like if another fighter cannot take me past that moment, then I'm gonna be in there to grind it for the whole thing.
This is a fight that, like Jeff said, is kind of flying under the radar a little bit. I think once we get in the cage, it won't be anymore.
Yeah,
We're going to really one thing you may not know about up here is we have legalized wagering up here in Tennessee on the pros, and so
didn't know that.
we have our guy Cody Safkin come on fight week and break down the odds on the fights. And your fight is one that I'm very proud to present to him because, in my opinion, it will be a very closely lined. Neither one of you guys will be a very heavy favorite on the odds books,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
what we want. We don't want to have these really skewed lines. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's one of those things where I'm happy to present that to him. Looking at both of you guys' pro records, neither of you've never been finished, period.
No,
Pat has not been finished as a pro. He got finished as an amateur long, long
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Is this a fight? Yeah, yes, it's kind of where I'm going to. Is this a fight where, you're obviously prepared for 15 hard minutes, but is this a fight where you think we could get a finish?
That's always the thing, man. If he's from that area, you never want to leave it to the judges. Judges can be weird. A lot of these judges don't even have the experience in the cage or even on mats, man. So you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. So I'm always trying to get the finish. I want to make it exciting. And at the end of the day, to get that big call with this PFL, UFC, Bellator, they want exciting guys. They don't want guys that are going to go to the judges every time. So they want guys that's going to put asses in seats, and that's what I want to do. So hopefully I'm gonna win some guys some money, man, and hopefully I'm gonna upset some people that are sleeping on me too.
I love it, man. Before we let you go, I want to let you give some love, some shout outs where they're due. Any friends, family, training partners, sponsors you want to shout out, I'll let you do it.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So back home, my gym, Blackwater Jiu Jitsu, also American Top Team. Your boys have helped me so much to get here, but I didn't do this alone. I know that I appreciate everybody, whether you help pass for me, held rounds, help me even roll. Even with the white belts, man, when I'm teaching y'all something, it helps me to know I know the technique. So shout out to everybody that's helped me along this way, man. Appreciate y'all.
And where can fans find you on social media?
It's money_banks MMA.
There you have it, folks. Co-main event next Saturday night, Aries 6 from the Camp Jordan Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Will
Let's
Money
go.
Banks versus Pat Crumpton.
Hey,
Hey, I'm stoked for it, my man. You get your tickets at fighterticksforthenext.com. Catch the pay-per-view at spectationsports.com. Will, can't wait to see you next week, brother.
appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for your time, man. Absolutely.
Will, I'm going to say I was happy when Pat got on the card. I started warming up the more Tim started telling me about you, but now after meeting you, I'm dead up, flat out, just excited for this fight now.
Let's
I'm
go.
ready, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Appreciate it, boys.